But for everyone else, I mean, if you have any advice to give to anyone that's aspiring to kind of do the same, whether what you could give, I'll let you kind of pick what kind of advice. If you want to give advice on picking a low tier character and just going for it, because I think what is it?
I would say don't do it. I would say don't do it.
I was gonna say, I was like, half the time, most of the guys are like, yo, you must hate yourself. Don't do it. Or if you're starting out and you're trying to support a scene or trying to build a scene up, like what kind of advice would you give somebody that's trying to just start off like the way you did?
Yeah, I mean, with the way things have been since when I started to do events, because the main reason I wanted to start doing events was because I wanted to play. Like when I started in 2005, because I went to a tournament in Timeout. You remember when the timeouts were?
I remember Timeout.
Well,
or
Plaza del Caribe had them and shit. Yeah, I was there.
Well, tournaments, they used to do tournaments, but it was like one, and then the next one would be like 7 months after. So like there wasn't that much availability. So I just started doing tournaments myself. There wasn't Facebook or anything, so everybody was just picking up phone numbers.
Yeah.
And I started to do the tournaments, and people just started to come out. I figured how to TO the hard way. Like I remember that my first tournament, I didn't think of things like I should get food for everybody who's coming. I didn't think of that. It was like, yeah, I think we have to buy pizza. That's true. I'm sorry. I didn't even put trash cans. I was like, damn, I was so focused on the playing part.
On the playing part. Everything else is like whatever.
Yeah, but I feel that growing through, because now I have First Attack, but I also have Winter Clash, which is another big event. We have like more than 1,500 people attend. And then it's Gaming Island, which is a new event that we did this year, which is with summer camps with a younger audience. Like
younger
kids.
Audience, right? Okay.
And it's actually to showcase every branch of the esports industry. There's panels for like game developers. There's retro. There's esports. There's all these different categories that we want to showcase, and we even had robotics. People teaching robotics and stuff.
It's the ecosystem of it, yeah.
Yeah, because I feel that the only way it gets bigger in Puerto Rico or anywhere else is if you keep educating the masses that still think that video games are a waste of time or that they don't bring income. But then when you give them like the full presentation, they're like, whoa, I didn't know all this was like, and they don't realize that video games are the #1 entertainment industry right now, and then comes Hollywood. They don't realize that shift has happened. Yeah. And I feel that an important thing, like some people actually ask me like, yo, how do you work with like the brands I work with? Because that's actually a question that comes up often with me. Like, how do you manage to get like a Walmart and stuff like that? And I'm like, first of all, the reason I get them is because of the fact that I have no other options, because I don't have Gaming Generations in Puerto Rico. I don't have Razer. I don't have Mad Catz when Mad Catz was around. All these companies, they're outside. Asus, BenQ. I can't really do much. Sony, there's no Sony store. Like, there's no Sony store here in Puerto Rico.
Nope.
So I can't get like a sponsorship from that. So I just had to move up. I have to think about what I can bring to the table. I try to, focus on the demographic. I actually have to put double the work because I have to think of like, okay, let me check out this brand. Let me check what's its target audience. Where does its marketing usually go to? Let me see how that adds up or it sinks in with my audience to see how I can manage to like bridge it together. So they're like, yeah, we want it. We want to get into that. I have to make up an engaging proposal. So because they don't know how to get in, they're like, I have no idea. Like, I know gaming's getting hip. I know it's trending, but I don't know how to get in. And it's like, either you be like, oh, that's not my problem, or let me grab you by the hand, let me bring you in.
Here's me winning CEO. How many times have you shown him the clip? We're like, look at me. I'm a champion. This is why. This is the kind of people you want to get. How many times is that in your portfolio? Will you go up with your pitch and be like, this is me, and you're just like,
it doesn't actually work. The thing is that the hardcore part, the player part, is not it's interesting, but it's not the main hook.
The
main hook is like how much of the people that are the demographic that I look for are within that gaming people that go to the tournament.
Yeah, this range.
And that's something that's important because you need to. A lot of things that I didn't graduate from marketing. I graduated from accounting and linguistics. I had 2 bachelors, but I learned marketing and making business plans. Like, I went to like seminars for making a business plan or a business model, but marketing, I learned it the hard way. I was just like learning it from other producers and stuff, like working with other agencies. No, when you try to sell it like this, but I was learning the hard way. Now I do it by myself.
Yeah.
But it's things that I feel like it's something that you have to focus on. If you want to grow your scene, obviously grow your scene, but try to find people that lead different categories, people that are in charge of others, because it's really hard when it starts to grow a lot. You can't run a lot. I don't run Street Fighter scene anymore. Like, I'm the Street Fighter player. I'm a representative, and people look to me for Street. But I can't be continuously working the scene here in Puerto Rico because now I'm too busy. So I have to make sure that there are people still dedicated enough to, like, okay, Mono's busy, but we can still, like, do Street Fighter weeklies. We can do this. We can do our own leagues. We can do whatever. And I'll always support and, like, okay, you guys want to do a league? I can bring maybe these sponsors. I can help you out with this equipment. But I can't be the one, like, forefronting it from the ground up because I don't have the time because I'm focusing on First Attack or whatever. So I would say that anybody who's trying to, like, grow, obviously try to find a good team, because First Attack is not done by one person. The First Attack is a bunch of people that work every year, and they're passionate enough to keep doing it every year, year after year. So honestly, it's all about that if you want to grow your scene. And honestly, if you're trying to sell your event or your team, if you have a team, you just have to know how to sell it. To be honest, you have to really pay attention. You have to, like, stop focusing on yourself and what you want, and focus on what you have actually at some point reaches or hits the part where they want. And then you try to bridge it from there, because you have to actually see what they're looking for and be like, okay, then what they're looking for, if I go this way, then okay, yeah,
it'll line up.
We can meet up in this scenario when it comes to content creation, when it comes to seminars, when it comes to coaching sessions. We can do something with the sports. Like, I've done tournaments for NBA 2K, I've done FIFA, I've done Call of Duty, and I don't play those games. Yeah. I don't play them. But I find out people from the scene. I try to learn from it. I try to learn how the tournaments are done. I ran FIFA qualifiers for the FIFA E Nations because the Federation of Soccer in Puerto Rico got a qualifier, and they were like, we need somebody who knows about esports. And now here in Puerto Rico, it comes to a point that brands, if they want to put games, it's like, oh, hit up Mono. So I was at a concert, Eladio Carrion. You know who Eladio Carrion is?
Yeah.
Reggaeton, trap.
Yeah.
So he had a concert, and he wanted video games, and then the brand was like, hey, okay, video games. Okay, Mono, how can we do this? How can we make it work? And I'm just trying to think of how do I set that up with a concert in a way that it's fun, because in a concert, you want to go to the concert, and obviously in the waiting time, that 2 hours before the concert, you're early, you're looking. I'm like, okay, I need to find something.
Or maybe you don't like the opening acts.
Yeah, but that's the thing. I can't do it on the competitive side. I have to do it more casual. So I have to always be thinking of how do I make a casual experience better? Because First Attack, you see it's a tournament, but there's a lot of stuff for casuals happening. Like, a lot of the booths, I make sure that they have stuff so that people can actually do other stuff while they're there.
Yep.
Especially game related, obviously.
That actually. Oh, sorry. I was just gonna say, it just reminded me of, like, looking at your event. Reminded me a little bit of, like, going to Evo, where I, like, actually kind of, like, stopped paying attention to, like, the gaming aspect. And I was like, ooh, this is kind of cool. Let me go check this out.
Yeah, because if you're not a competitor and you're not accompanying anybody there, you're gonna leave after 30 minutes. You're just gonna walk around. Oh, these are just tournaments. Yeah, I don't really know much of these games, or I like this one, but not enough to, like, stay here watching people play, So you have to make it attractive for those casuals, because to me, it's very important, the casual audience, because Puerto Rico is small. So I can focus very much. I could try to focus a lot on the hardcore, but I still would depend on a lot of people traveling out to Puerto Rico. And Puerto Rico, it's not the U.S. You can't drive cross-country 16 hours like a lot of people do. Like, I've seen people from New York drive to CEO and stuff like that. I'm like, you can't do that to Puerto Rico. You have to fly out. And some people don't even know that you don't need a passport. I still get hit up. Like, I'm not going to Puerto Rico because I don't have a passport. Yeah, I'm like, you don't need one.
The best part is when they're like, yo, what do I need to change my money to? It's like, we use US.
There
you go. Yeah, exactly. It's like we use dollars here. You idiot. Like, oh my god. Yeah, I know. It drives me nuts. It drives me nuts.
But I do appreciate the bank teller that he was creative enough to do the full process and be like, puts the money in an envelope, like he's gonna change it, and then he just gives it back, and then it's like, oh.
Yeah. That's some amazing story.
Y'all some uneducated motherfuckers out there. That's all I'm just gonna say. Y'all are some dumbasses if y'all just did not know that. Like, it just. Ugh.